What's up, YouTube? So let's jump right into it, man. This video is not meant to scare anyone. I'm still bullish, very bullish. But like we know, if you don't know, sometimes in bull run, a massive bull run, we do get major pullback. So this is what I'm looking at today. I'm looking at the worst case scenario for Bitcoin, and not only Bitcoin. We're gonna look at some altcoins to see how these altcoins may react if we do get a nice little pullback or a crash, air quotation marks, so to say, in Bitcoin. So let's jump right into Bitcoin. What I'm looking at right now is what we've been just looking at for the past few weeks. This uptrend that we were in, like I said, started from the beginning of November, around November 11th, Monday, November 11th. Broke into it. We just been coming up, higher highs, higher lows with a few deviations here and there. Finally broke below it on the 19th. Used it as resistance once here on the 20th. Used it again as resistance on the 24th, and then again on Christmas. And then we finally got rejected. We are making a higher low right here. So we did come down to about 92.4, then we came to about 92.4, a little bit higher. Now we are seeming to put in a higher low, which would be good if we can hold that. So you can see this coming back up, this little uptrend coming back up from these lows, so to say. So what I want to see, I actually really just want to hold this wick here, actually on the 4-hour time frame, and potentially make our way, back up here and keep, I'm sorry, brain freeze, keep creating these higher lows and inevitably pop back into this or above that line and make our way back up. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking all too great right now for Bitcoin. So like I said, this is what I'm looking at for this video. I'm looking at worst case scenario. So I'm coming from a pattern point of view. A lot of my trades have been coming from patterns, have been coming from sentiment. We're looking at volume, we're looking at macroeconomics, we're looking at sentiment. I think I said that. We're looking at different stories, and we do have a story about Tether coming at the end. Was going to make a whole dedicated video to Tether, but I said I didn't want to. We'll put it in at the end of this video. So I am seeing something like this coming in. So let's actually go to the hourly time frame and see what I'm looking at. So like I said, we came from this massive move down all the way from about 108 all the way back down to about 92, and we're consolidating. So what I am kind of seeing something of a bear flag, man, a bear flag. And this is what I don't like. Sometimes I pull these patterns out and I'm like, okay, there's a bear flag. Now what? Now if I do a measured move in the confluence area, is coming right, I mean smack dead on my line here at about a 77,187, so about 77 to 78k, which is a CME gap, that everybody has been talking about. So this is a possibility. This could really happen, and this would really throw a wrench into the market short term. I do think we do have some ways to go up. Do think we will break more all-time highs coming in 2025, but I do think that we can't disregard some of these negative or some of these bearish things that could happen or that could play out. So if this happened, we pretty much know that the overall market will take a deep dive as well. So let's go to Ethereum, and Ethereum has a similar chart, a similar setup. So it's sort of like on this one, it sort of looks like an ascending triangle, but it is a consolidation from a massive down move down from about 4,100. So if this one were to play out, I could see us coming back down potentially to about 2,700, give or take. Let's actually pull my lines out. So we do have the 200 coming in at about 29.78. Which has been acting as a nice support over the past few months. We all know that the 200 really dictates if an asset is in a bull market or a bear market. So we really don't want to lose that 200. I really don't want to lose that. I mean, we could come below it for a deviation and then reclaim, but I don't want to start closing daily time frames or daily candles below this 200-day simple moving average. So that's another thing that I'm looking at, man. I'm really just looking at these price levels, looking at if Bitcoin were to drop down to that $77 or $77,000 area, where I would be looking to load some of my bags on some of these altcoins. Let's take a look at XRP. Where do we think XRP will go? So XRP's chart doesn't look too bad, though, to be completely honest. We do have some major support coming in at about 190 to 195. We had one here, touch here. So we already had about 3 or 4 touches over the past month or so, coming down to this yellow bar. So this is what we really want to hold. Like I said, if the market really does start to dump, I think XRP will easily, it seems like we're coming from a down move. It seems like we're starting to, form these bear flags or these bear pennants. We're really starting to form them. So I can see XRP potentially coming back down to this level here at about 190 to 195, give or take. May come down and, sweep some liquidity down here, possibly down here at about 180 to 185 and reclaim. But we really want to hold this level for XRP. We really want to hold this level for XRP. If not, then, the next level I'm looking at will be around 150 to 160, this level here coming in. So we can just draw a line here, and then we'll be looking for something to come back down here. So we're well above the 200. I think the 200 will probably start to, curve up as we come down. So we'll probably meet somewhere if we do get a nice washout somewhere in this area here for XRP. So I think that'll be a nice little gift. I do not think the bull run will be over if we did go down to 77K for Bitcoin. But I do think, like I said, these altcoins will get waxed. And I'm not even gonna look at a lot of these altcoins because, if Bitcoin, let's go back to Bitcoin really quick. So from where we are now at 94,522, and this is just worst case scenario. Not saying it's gonna happen, not saying it's a for sure thing, but I just want to be on high alert. So if we did fall here, that would be a fall of about another 18%, which is what we've been seeing. We've been seeing falls of about 18 to 20%. This one here, from the top of the market to this $92,000 area, was about 15%. Let's look at some more drops that we had. This one here, from peak to trough, that wasn't so bad. That was about 11%. No, we had a lot more. Let's see if we can find another dump. Here's another one. So this one, we went from 73 all the way down to 66. Oh, that one wasn't so bad. That was only about 60, or about, what I say? I think that was only about 10%. So, yep, that one was only about 10%. It was another one. Let's go to the daily. Yep, here we go. So this one, when we had that first all-time high break from 73, we came all the way back down to about 49. That was a 32% drop. So I think that was the biggest one thus far this bull run. And that one happened from March. So when we had that first peak in March, all the way down to September. So that took a minute to play out, but that was about 32%. So these, that's the biggest one we had. So like I said, if we do break down from where we are now, that'll only be like an 18 to 20% move, from where we are now. But if we started from the peak, which was 108, and we went down another 30% move. So that would be like another 30% move. So it'd be basically equivalent to the top in March, going all the way down through the summer. That would be equivalent to that 30% move. So it can happen. It can happen. And then we can recover very hard, I think, going into, mid Q1, going into Q2. So, I'm pretty much ready for these scenarios. I'm ready for whatever the market starts to throw at us. What we don't want to do is we don't want to lose that 2021 all-time high. That's really what I think. This line here, right, this 69 to 70K, because we tried to get above it. We were really, really, really having a tough time getting above that 2021 all-time high. When we did break it, we were off to the races, as you see. So we were just playing with it, got above it, couldn't stay above it, got above it, couldn't stay, used it as resistance, resistance, couldn't get above it. Then once we finally broke above it, I mean, we really went parabolic. So that's really what we want to see. So I really want to see, I think this is the bull market. This line here is the bull market. I think 70K is the bull market. If we lose this dailies and close a weekly below that, I think the bull run may be over, just in my opinion. You know, it's not set in stone, but really don't even want to come down to this area here at about 69K, which is our 2021 cycle high. So worst case scenario, I'm hoping somewhere in this area, this 77 to 80K. If we do drop from this pattern that we coming in, this sort of like a bear flag, or bear flag, because we have our pole, then we have the consolidation. So a bear flag with the measure move, like I said, right down to that CME gap at about 77% or 77K. So that's just what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. So I want to end it with this post talking about Tether. We talked about Tether a little bit on an earlier video. We really didn't get too in depth with it, but I like this. This was a well written out post from Symbiote. He says, talking about Tether, the past week, many have started panicking about the situation with USDT, which is Tether, if you don't know. While it usually has been dismissed as mere FUD, this time it's serious, as all exchanges in the EU are required to delist it. And this is coming on the 30th. Insufficient transparency and doubts about safety, which would, I mean, that's been the case for years. And then number 2, fear of liquidity loss after exiting the EU market. And he also states, like I just said, and while the first issue has always been a problem, the second one brings even more serious consequences. So it says, it turns out Tether has never undergone an audit. It only promised one in 2015. First company that tried got fired 2018, and by 2021 they released an auditor's report in partnership with BDO. But it says following that, in 2021 the CFTC fine ended an investigation into an alleged loss of 850 million from commingled client and corporate funds. He continues to say, after these events, a huge FUD campaign against Tether began. I remember this. So at this point, the FUD became part of the cycle, and everyone takes it in stride. Like we've been saying, we've been saying this over and over. It says, however, in reality, the only bigger scam is probably the central banking system. Like Tether has been, Tether, I don't think anybody outside of the Tether world knows exactly how Tether operates. We haven't seen them print or mint any coins in about 2 weeks, so I probably think they were, gearing up for this event here. It says the latest blow to Tether came through the new MiCA or MiCA crypto regulation over in the EU. And as always, Tether failed to obtain the mandatory license to operate in the EU. So all EU exchanges must delist USDT by December 30th. But he says he doesn't think it's time to worry. He says he thinks Tether has become a company that is too big to fail, and I definitely agree. It says if Tether collapses under current conditions, it means the collapse of an entire industry. That's true. After all, even most tier 1 exchanges hold most of their reserves in Tether. Just most likely, as always, Tether will come up with something, and may have already done so. Recently, they invested in Stable R, which fully complies with European regulations. He says, I think this way they pass or bypass the system and continue to operate in the EU. Of course, it's bad that USDT refused to undergo an audit and its balance was made up of suspicious papers, but the exchange creators have already commented on this matter, saying that without USDT, market liquidity would dry up. So now he's saying it's probably going to backfire in the EU market, now risk becoming irrelevant. But as he already said, Tether has already found a solution, and most likely everything will change soon. At the same time, he will prefer to swap his USDT for USDC and see what happens. So I mean, I don't think I'm going to worry about it too much. We have seen Tether decouple from the dollar a few times. A lot of people made a lot of money from that too. A lot of people bought USDT when it was under $1, and once it reclaimed or pegged back, a lot of people made some money from that. So that is something that I will be looking at. Also looking at this. Where's that chart at? Okay, and this is supposed to be their asset breakdown. He says at the reporting date, the breakdown of the reserves is as follows. So they have the cash and cash equivalent, other short-term deposits. They have 84.5 billion in T-bills. They have 12.5 billion in overnight reverse repurchase, the overnight repo facility. I think that's what you call it, the overnight reverse repurchase agreements. They have 1.5 billion in term reverse repurchase agreements. Money market funds, they have about 6.5 billion. Cash and bank deposits, they have about 78 million. Non-US T-bills, they have about 91 billion. Corporate bonds, 17.5 million. Precious metals, almost 5 billion. Bitcoin, almost 5 billion. Other investments, don't know what that is, but they have about 3 billion or close to 4 billion. In secured loans, they have about 7 billion. So that equals 125 billion. 472,279. So I don't think it's anything to worry about. Do I think all this is legit and everything that they have here is 100% accurate? No, but I think it's close enough. And like he said in the thread, I think they are a little bit too big to fail, man. If Tether goes down, that would be the biggest stain and the biggest event to ever happen in crypto, way bigger than FTX and things like that. But if some FUD or something doesn't work out with this, I think that could be a catalyst to bring Bitcoin, down to these 77K levels and possibly below. But like I said, I really want to hold that 2021 all-time high as support if we do seem to come down. We might not even come down. We might just break back above this, this uptrend that we ran and continue our friendly path, bounce back up here, continue our path back up here, and go up to those price points that we all want to see. So if we do break down, I'll be looking at it as an opportunity and grabbing some of these coins that I'm really thirsty for. I really want to get some of these, really anxious to get some of these coins at lower prices because I feel like I missed them, and they're very strong coins, so I think they will bounce back hard. So we'll be looking out to see what Bitcoin does within the next couple weeks. Stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will be making daily videos for the most part, no matter where I'm at home, on the go. Always making videos, always keeping the cool kids community up to date, letting you know what I'm doing, letting you know what I'm seeing, and going from there, man. So this is FD White. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will talk to everybody in the next video. Peace.